What's going on, guys? We had the first Challengers Cup of the Black Ops 7 season is here, and we had a banger of a tournament. Honestly, there was a lot going on, both on the NA and the EU side. There was also the APAC region, but I didn't get to see anything from the APACs. Not really. I think a lot was even reported on that side of things. But on the North American side, T-Bush Gaming is your champions. We have they are the ones to win it. They win 4-1 over Cabal GG's, one of the strongest teams, honestly, right now in the Challenger season. And it's been exciting to see these teams duke it out. But T-Bush Gaming go out and make a massive start. And honestly, they come out swinging, winning it in the grand finals 4-1. So incredible work from T-Bush Gaming, and a congratulations to them. On the EU side, we have the team Frenchies, Melko, Brezzy, Cobra, and Linz are your champions on the EU side for the Challengers Cup. I'm happy to see that. I've always been a big Linz fan, so being able to see him come back on top and get back into the swing of things and honestly looking really, really good just makes me happy. I think Linz is somebody who has a ton of potential. He was one of the strongest rookies in the MW3 season. Unfortunately, it fell a little flat when it came to Black Ops 6 when he was playing on the Gentlemates, and has been spending some time in challenges ever since. Hopefully, we can see him back up in the league, but only time will tell. But with the NA side, there was a massive chunk of drama that then begs the question to talk about the Tier 2 scene for Call of Duty between Challengers and the Premier Circuit. So, Jerry the Kid, Jersey Jerry, had a lot to say about what was going on here.
Daniel to say, Jersey Jerry here. I'm with the Bush Squad. You got players playing in different LAN tournaments. My guys aren't going to be iced, okay? My guys ain't waiting 5 hours for these other two players that are playing in a different tournament to finish just to play us. They got to forfeit. It's either a forfeit or we're going to riot. It's very simple. Very simple. Get Challengers intel on the horn too, Mook. We're not going to stand for this, okay? This is a real tournament, Challengers Cup. Challengers Cup for a reason. Why are guys playing in different LANs? It makes zero sense. What kind of rinky-dink program are we running here? Okay? Fix it. These guys got to hop out that LAN and come back to the Challengers Cup. It's very simple.
Alrighty, so in that moment, the T-Bush Gaming Squad were playing. I don't really know exactly what team they were going up against. I think they were just waiting in the grand finals, but there was also on the opposite side of the COD scene, the Premier Circuit was hosting their own LAN in Philadelphia, sponsored by Shinto Gaming Club, and this immediately caused the Premier Circuit to fire back. So they immediately say TPC is greater than Challengers. The scene is dying. Local LANs are the only reason there is a Tier 2 space to compete. And I think now, they didn't go into detail about who the players were. I have a feeling that one of those players, being Awakening, is playing on P7 Notorious right now. And he was in the grand finals of this LAN. Lost it, I think, in map 7, but that's, an entirely different thing. Anyways, so Jersey Jerry not happy over the fact that there were players that were playing in a separate LAN that were also causing that were also playing in the Challengers Cup that were causing delays. Now, the rules of the Challengers Cup do clearly state that any eligible team has to here it is. In the event that both teams fail to appear for the match, victory will be awarded to the higher seeded team. However, the winning team will incur an automatic loss of their next match. But also, they do say in the rules that you have 15 minutes to show up for your match. If you do not show up, you are disqualified from the match, and it is an automatic loss, which some of the players have been kind of fighting with that, and that's just, honestly, has been a thing in challenges where teams have been waiting for longer than that. But there is, because it's not the first time that teams have gone and played in a LAN as well as played in the Challengers Cup. And so they've always just been kind of scheduling around each other in that area, not really moving anything one way or the other. However, I personally think that players need to just, pick one or the other. If you're going to be playing in a LAN, you should be playing in a LAN. If you're going to be playing in the Challengers Cup, you need to be playing in the Challengers Cup. Delays like this are what makes the Challengers Cup a laughing stock in tier 2 esports, because right now Challengers is the primary tier 2. Yes, the Premier Circuit does great for players who are looking for opportunities. However, if you are really looking to get into the league, Challengers is the way to do it. And so having players that are competing in multiple tournaments at the same time provides more slowdowns and makes things a little bit more difficult. I'm not wanting to say one thing versus the other. I don't want to say I'm pro TPC. I don't want to say I'm more Challengers, because honestly, I've casted for both, and I think both are an incredible opportunity for multiple different players and teams to be able to go and showcase their stuff. But if you are going to be playing in these tournaments, you have to manage your schedule. Time management is very, very important. And honestly, I don't want to be, if I'm a GM from a CDL team, I don't want to be thinking of a player that is overcommitting themselves to the point where they don't even know what tournament they're supposed to be showing up for. You got to have your priorities straight, and you got to pick one. That's really kind of the only thing that I think makes sense in this area. It can be really easy for players to come out and say, oh, well, I'm doing this to keep myself warm for this tournament. And yes, the Philadelphia tournament was a $5,000 LAN. I don't want to say that there wasn't money involved, but again, not wanting to hate on TPC at all. I think TPC does a lot of great work for the local scene, and I think they do a great job at continuing to provide events and LANs when most of Challengers is being ran online, and a lot of just the tier 2 scene for Call of Duty is ran online. Honestly, just a lot of the Call of Duty scene is ran online versus in person, when I really think they need to shift more to a LAN thing, but that's an entirely different video for a whole other time. But I do think it is important that teams are not overbooking themselves. You can't be trying to do two things at once, because it is just going to cause delays for other people. It ends up showing bad sportsmanship on both sides, because you could say, hey, I can't play in my LAN tournament right now because I've got a Challengers Cup match that I'm playing in. Or you could say, hey, I can't play in my Challengers Cup tournament because I'm playing in the LAN. And now you have to keep both, you can cause delays for both organizations. So it's important for teams to pick. I think Jersey Jerry is a lot on the right side here. I think it makes sense that with the things that were going on and the feelings that he has, it should not be causing other delays. And you can even see Daniel Tsay, the commissioner or the GM of the CDL, is in favor of this, and Methods is also in favor of this. Scrap is just going to be Scrap, and he's going to rage bait where he can. But I mean, that's Scrappy. That's what he does. He's just gonna have fun with things. But anyways, that's really kind of all the main thing that I wanted to talk about. There's a bit of fire now between TPC and Challengers, and I think right now, with the situation that Tier 2 COD is in, honestly, right now, the best shot into the league is through Challengers. I think players have been showing a lot of opportunities to be able to play for Challengers and being able to move into the league. And honestly, I think a lot of what we need to see from the Tier 2 side in order to help promote other players to get into the league is doing things like content. That's one of the reasons why you've seen a ton of the Stallions making their way into the CDL, why a ton of players from Omit are making their way into the CDL, because players are doing so much, not just being good players, but they're putting their streams on and you can watch their streams. They're doing different fun things with these other orgs. And so I genuinely think that for the scene, it is important that content is just as big of a part of the game as the actual competition. See, Omit Rafi even said it himself. Same people that cry about not getting chances in the CDL are the same that don't stream, don't use socials, and don't network. Being good isn't enough anymore. Get a grip. Challengers has never been healthier with the eyes on it that it has this year. And this is huge. You need to put in the work completely outside of just playing the game in order to make it. People don't become professionals just purely on their skill anymore. It is on their personality. Yes, Mercules is still working on the personality aspect of it, but he's got it. He's doing great in his interviews. He's streaming. He's being a part of all of Optic's events and things that they're doing content-wise. And so Mercules is putting in a ton of work, and he's still arguably the best player in the game right now. Being a part of the CDL and being a professional becomes so much more than just being good at the game. There's so many parts that go into it, and if you are wanting to be a professional, you have to be available for those types of things. You can't just be somebody who purely rides out the game and nothing more. You got to be able to be there for content days. You got to be there for streaming. You have to turn the stream on. It has been a big conversation right now about whether or not players should be turning their streams on more often. And honestly, I'd say, yeah, the more that people can get to see the players outside of just the game, the more interested they're going to be. It's one of the reasons why Optic has such a strong fan base. In terms of every single team right now in the CDL, Optic is hands down the best when it comes to their content game. They are running content constantly, and it's one of the reasons why I've been able to find myself enjoying Optic a lot more. I'm not normally an Optic fan. I'm normally looked at Optic and said, I don't want to root for them because everybody roots for them. But they do so well in their content and the things that they do outside of just being a good team that it makes it hard not to root for them, because you get to see their players and you get to meet them and like not necessarily fall in love in the same way that you fall in love with like your spouse, but you fall in love with their personalities. And that is a huge part of Optic's success. So that is definitely one of the reasons why Optic are able to thrive so much. And other teams in the CDL and other teams in challenges need to take that same approach. If they aren't doing stuff for content, even if they aren't playing the game, or if they're just doing goofy stuff, whatever it is, the more you can get your players to, their fans to fall in love with your players, the higher fan base you're going to have, the more money you're going to be able to make. It is just going to work out for you so much better in the process. In the long run, the more time you invest in content outside of just being the best at your game. So that's really all that I got to say on the State of Tier 2 COD. There is a lot going on. I'm excited for this weekend's Challenger Cup. I think we're going to be seeing T-Bush come out swinging once again next weekend in the second cup, and I'm really hoping to see Team Frenchies put in another run for it. We're going to be seeing how your defending champions will go in this upcoming Challengers Cup. The action will begin this Saturday, so make sure you guys are tuning in for that. But thank you guys so much for watching and for being here. I am planning on trying to blow up this YouTube channel with more COD content, specifically on the esports scene. So make sure you guys are subscribed if you have not been, and we will see you guys next time right back here. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody.